Hey guys, it's Elise. Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk about financial things to do before 2024 ends, or at the very least to do at the very top of 2025, because I do understand that some things that I'm about to go over, you can't do it until the year is actually over. And the things that I am mentioning that I'm planning to do or have done in the past, they're in no particular order, but they help me or have helped me get my financial ducks in a row. And it is not financial advice, but these are things that I have done or am doing in preparation for 2025. The number one thing that I plan to do is to do an audit of my spending. And I'm going to do that two ways. The first way is that I'm going to look at my credit card end of spending summaries. I have noticed the last 3 to 5 years, they send me a summary and it is categorized by what type of spending that I've done that year. And I found it helpful because it is a snapshot of what I've been doing this year and that I don't always pay attention to because swiping a card is so easy. Particularly, I plan to look at a few things, and that is entertainment, that maybe I've gone a little bit too much into that I need to reel back, or just some forgotten subscriptions, because that happens, even though I feel like I'm on top of it, but you never know. The other thing is eating out, so food and drink that I'm eating out with, like I want to make sure that that is on par with what I have said in my budget that it needs to be, as well as miscellaneous things, because there is a line item that says miscellaneous things that can't quite be categorized. I want to particularly pay attention and hopefully see that there's nothing there, but if there is something, if it's something that aligns with my financial goals. And then the other part of auditing my spending is looking at my bank account for like at least 3 months. I want to see the changes that I elected, that they're actually being done, and if also looking for stray things that I was not expecting to be there, that I may not have noticed that are there, that come out my bank account. I think it's very important, especially if you are new to getting your financial ducks in a row. That's really helpful because it can help you see things that you're like, oh wait, I don't want to keep spending my money on this. How do I stop that? The number two thing that I think is very important is auditing debt goals. When I was in a high amount of debt, I made sure to audit what my debt looked like at the end of the year. And I particularly wanted to compare it to, is it less than what it was January 1st of this year? That is how I knew that I was moving the marker and being productive and getting my debt down. Also, on top of auditing my debt goals, I need to figure out a way to see if like I need to make more money, or I just need to move some things around in my budget. But regardless, if the budget is not enough, then this is the point where I need to prepare myself in 2025 that I need to work some extra shifts, unfortunately, to meet those goals, because not having enough in your budget is not an excuse to get the debt down. Debt particularly is dangerous, and it's a temporary sacrifice to either find a side hustle or work extra shifts of your job. But this is why we audit, because we don't know until we look at it. The number 3 thing that goes hand in hand with it is then auditing my saving goals. And also that needs to be greater than what it was in January 1st of this year. That's how I know that my goals were productive. I just did a video a few weeks ago that went into detail how it wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. However, instead of having $6,000 more in my savings account, I'm still going to end up with around $500 more. Again, not my goal, but if I'm using the marker, is it greater than, because it's a savings, than it was in January 1st, I'm doing fine, right? At this point, but let's say it's less than, then that's at this point, we have to look into, again, unfortunately, probably doing some extra shifts or finding some type of temporary side hustle to get this thing going. Because having the savings goal that we want, whether it's starting your emergency fund or just building your emergency fund, the money needs to be there for you so you're not going into debt unexpectedly. And this leads me into the 4th thing that I will be doing to prepare financially for 2025 is I'm going to be adjusting my budget. And I specifically talked about auditing debt goals and auditing the savings goals, because if they're not where they need to be, those are line items that need to be adjusted in the budget, even if that means you're getting that side hustle. But regardless if those are fine, there are just some things that your budget needs to change every year. And that number one reason is inflation. And I'll let y'all know that I have been lying to myself a little bit about my budget, because I swear it's a number, but in my head I know it's about $50 more than what it really is. And on top of that, in 2025, things are going to change. At minimum, your housing cost changes, whether you're a renter or you are a homeowner. If you're a renter, you can expect your landlord to increase your rent 95% of the time, at least 3 to 5%, sometimes 10%, depending on the market. And then if you are a homeowner like me, I am expecting my mortgage to go up, because the escrow report comes every year, and I know I need to account for about 3 to 7% of an increase with that. Another thing that's going to always go up is insurance. Health insurance is going up for me next year. I already know, because I did my Obamacare stuff. I'm hoping my car insurance goes down, but in Florida, you never know. So those are things at minimum that have to be adjusted. They're not going away. It's called the blessing of getting older. You can expect those cost of living rises in your budget to just come with every new year. But that's why we adjust our budget, so at least we are not fooling ourselves and at the same time hurting ourselves because we're not being honest. So in that new budget for 2025, I will be having at minimum all my bills, line items for all my bills. Also, I will be having a line item for debt. Also, I will be having a line item for my savings goals. And I also will be having a line item for fun. Even if that fun is $20 a month, there needs to be fun, because there needs to be a reprieve, and there needs to be something that keeps us going in the midst of doing all this hard work for our future selves. You have to enjoy something at some point, right? So the number 5 thing that I am going to be doing now that I know my budget is I will be calculating my net worth. And net worth calculation involves adding all your assets and then adding all your liabilities, and then you putting them together to see what the result is, and that's your net worth. I think particularly net worth is helpful to someone who's in high debt initially, because once you do your net worth every year or even twice a year in the beginning, you see your debt, and it makes you stay in a mind frame where you are uncomfortable with seeing that debt. Net worth is really important in that aspect because it helps you stay uncomfortable with debt, and we always, as financial people who want to be extraordinary, we don't want to get comfortable with debt ever. Now, the 6th thing that I will be doing is auditing my retirement accounts. Really quickly, I think that's important, just to, at the end of the year, do at minimum 2 things. Minimum is make sure you're getting a company match if you are a W-2 employee, to make sure that you're getting that free money. And then the other thing is auditing to see if you met the goal that you set for yourself in the beginning of the year. Whether that's $5,000, $2,000, $10,000. Are you there yet? And if you're not, then you got to go back to the other item that I said a few minutes ago, which is put that in your budget somehow. And that, again, might entail working an extra shift. The number 7 thing that I will be doing that I think is really important is getting my free annual credit report. Not my score, but my report. You can get that at www.annualcreditreport.com. And it is set up nationally for us to be able to do once a year. And you get your in detail report from all 3 credit unions, and it's free to you. They don't give you the report though. But now, if I think about it, I don't know if you guys have noticed, ladies, but notice these last few years, but your credit cards will give you your credit report. They don't give it from all 3, but if you have 1 out of 3, you kind of get a gist, because the other 2 are either 20 points up or 20 points down from that number. So you actually don't need to pay to get your credit report. A lot of your credit score, because a lot of the credit cards give it to you, but they don't give you the report. And I think it's judicious for us to do the report, because it gives a detailed report of everything that is in your name that you are paying for. So everything should be noticeable to you. It should be, yes, that makes sense. Anything that is foreign to you, we need to get on the phone and ask, like, what's going on? How is this happening? Because I did not apply for that, because we're not working hard to better ourselves, offer somebody to buy a car or a house in our name. We're not doing that. And then the last thing that I will be doing, and I think is judicious for us to do, is in the midst of doing all the things that I just mentioned of auditing and preparing myself financially for the next year, I'm going to find one financial win that I had and I'm gonna celebrate it somehow. I'm gonna take myself out to lunch, or I'm gonna buy myself something really nice that's affordable, but something that I can enjoy. And I am gonna get myself mentally prepared for 2025 to thank God, do it again. So yeah, this gives us a good financial picture that will set us up for success in the new year, because we are actually educated about our business. And because we're educated, now we can set some time apart to make financial goals for ourselves in 2025. I'll see you guys next week. Please let me know in the comments if you're doing something similar, and if there are any different things that you're doing. I would love to know, because I love to get ideas from new people, and it might be something that I'll incorporate. So yeah, share and care. I'll see you guys next week.